Okay, welcome back. You have caught us preparing for our toast. So welcome to our home, because this is what happens in our house when we prepare for a party. Speaking of parties, there's been one Yule celebration that has passed that you've missed, but we're going to talk about a little bit, and that is the Connecticut Wiccan Pagan Network, CWPN. Eric's going to tell us a little bit about that. But we also have a Yule celebration coming up. The Pagan Community Church is running a celebration, and in just a few minutes, I believe we are going to have the slide up on your screen so that you can contact them for more information about the event. In the meantime, Eric, can you tell us what happened? How did the celebration go?
It went very well. It was they held a raffle to raise money for Children's Hospital in Newington, and I think they I don't have the final tally, but I think they did very well. It was a very small group, kind of low key, just a very nice social event. There were 3 bands performing.
Excellent.
The bands sounded great.
Good. And I think that the idea of raising funds for a local organization that's not necessarily pagan, but something like a children's hospital is a really terrific idea.
Well, they also requested a food donation at the door, and there were many people showing up with donations.
Good.
So they were looking to benefit the community at large, which is very good.
That's excellent. And speaking of food and things that we need to prepare for the millennium, it's coming. We don't know how it's going to go down. We aren't sure exactly what New Year's Eve is going to be like this year, because there's some computer glitches that may happen, so there may be some emergencies in your area. You may want to think about, not just for Y2K and the millennium and the turn of the millennium here, you may want to think about setting up some emergency stuff for yourself so that you're prepared in case something happens. During a winter storm, we've just gone through hurricane season, and we do know that a lot of people did not fare very well during this hurricane season. So what we'd really like to see from all of you is a little thinking about how to practically take care of yourselves during this potentially difficult and challenging time. I know, Eric, you were telling me that you were taking stock of a couple of stores in the area, and one of the things they've been doing is stocking up on water.
Exactly. I do physical inventories for a variety of stores, and one of the supermarkets they did today, which is prominent in this area and throughout most of New England, literally had bottled water by the pallet full marked as Y2K backstock. They're preparing so that if you have needs, they will be there for you. Exactly.
Batteries, flashlights, radio, battery backups for those. So if the lights go off, you're going to be able, you know, to see what you're doing, and also listen to what's going on as far as emergency announcements or whatever. It's a very important thing to do.
On the other end of preparing, you may not want to over-prepare. Some people might go a little headstrong crazy. What I've heard, and it sounds pretty good, is if you plan for a storm of, say, 3 to 5 days, extend that out. You're looking at maybe
a week.
A week to 2 weeks, 3 weeks on the outside for some services, but most things should be back on, if they go out, within a week to 2 weeks.
Now remember, we all live here in New England. It is December. We've been extraordinarily lucky as far as the weather goes this year. It has been incredibly mild. And I can see it getting colder. The nights are starting to get colder. Things are starting to chill up. So get some extra blankets. Make sure your warm clothes are nearby. Think about maybe some kind of a heat source. If you have a wood stove or you have a fireplace, you may want to make sure the chimney's all cleaned out, and you may want to stock a little wood so you can stay warm. Make sure that you also have some water that's bottled not for drinking, but please remember, this is going to sound really ridiculous, but if the water goes out, you can't flush your toilet unless you pour water down it. I love the fact that my father taught me to be prepared. So make sure you have some water for washing and to flush your toilet with. I think that most of us will keep a clear head. Remember that camping equipment, propane grills, work real well. It's a great way to cook meals, and it's kind of fun, too, to be cooking outside in the snow on your gas grill in the middle of winter. We've done it, not having to do it, but just because it was fun. So please remember that cooking food is going to be very important, and keeping your food cold and safe also. Things like chicken and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you get ice and,
Well, hopefully
and all
the
that.
weather will help us with that, but.
Exactly. You can always store your food in your trunk, you know. We now have the Pagan Community Church's slide up for you. Their Yule celebration is going to be on December 18th. And their number is up there. It's please give them a call. It promises to be a wonderful event. We will not be able to attend because we haven't really been going to a whole lot. Frank is pretty exhausted after his therapy sessions, and we're doing all kinds of stuff at home, so he's pretty bushed most of the time, and quite frankly, so am I. So we will probably not be able to attend, but I know the folks down there would love to have you and see all of you, and we wish all of them the best. Tiff, what kind of things are you looking for the youth of the community to do in the millennium? Where do you want to see our community go in the millennium?
I think I want to see the community grow closer, because there's a lot of splits, and mostly it's one or two people, and they'll just have a disagreement about one little thing, and then all of a sudden you have to take sides. And it shouldn't be like that. It's family. Family doesn't take sides.
That's right, and family isn't perfect. None of us are. And no matter, you and I both know this because we are mother and daughter. We've had some pretty hefty disagreements, and we love each other. And I think that's what sees us all through, is that we love each other. In a family, you accept people warts and all, and you know what their good parts are, and you don't love them for their good parts. You love them in spite of their bad parts, and sometimes because of them. But I think you're absolutely right, and I know that that's a problem that we've had in our generation. Oh boy, do I feel weird saying that. But it is a problem that we've seen where people have fought over silly things usually. And I noticed that the youth of the community is really, really good at talking out your problems amongst each other. I have seen this not just with you, but and not just necessarily with the youth of the community that I know really well personally, but I've overheard conversations between kids that I don't really know very well. Well, you know, I accept that you really don't like the fact that I do that, but you know, this is why I do it. And just talking out their problems, it's something that I really admire in you guys, because that's not something that we really learn to do very well necessarily in our generation. No. And I think it's something really important for the community to learn how to do, and to watch you guys and take notes from the way that you guys behave. I think it's a really good idea.
Communication is definitely essential.
It's something you guys do very, very well. Really, really well. I especially like the fact that even though a lot of the people that we get together with at different gatherings we don't see all year long, you guys do a lot over internet and all that kind of stuff to try to stay in touch and try to stay close.